to the Warzone Amateur Hour Podcast.
Welcome back to the Warzone Amateur Hour Podcast. Tron here, alongside the 10-inch cowboy, the co-host with the co-most. How was that week in the Warzone there, 10-incher?
The co-most, I like that. The week was good. Pretty good week, actually. We've had some high highs, and the lows I don't think have been as bad of late, so feeling good about it. You've been playing out of your mind. I think this week is more about your gameplay than my gameplay, because mine has been stale, static, and shitty, but you've been playing super well. You and I got a really great win this week, which, you know, wins are few and far between, but when they happen, some of them are more memorable than others, and this one was memorable. Do you remember it?
Oh, I literally journaled about it for hours afterwards because it was a high point in my Warzone career. Yeah, we revisited the Rebirth. We'd been away from, the old Rebirth Island for the last few weeks because, they had it at Quads. And I think we just kind of, we were twice bitten, whatever it's called, from that Rebirth Extreme. Too overwhelming, too much. So we stayed away. Then they brought back Trios, the old fucking classic. And we hopped back into that, playing with a buddy of ours who's, fellow amateur, fellow listener. Shouts to the Lord of Edgetown, or as you've called him something else I'm not going to repeat. But yeah, this first time I've dropped into Rebirth with that old car FFAR loadout, and it was a different mindset. Like, once I saw how easily I could kill people, it was like, I'm fucking going here. Oh, I'm gonna get him. And I was fucking hungry for it.
Yeah, baby. There's a lot to unpack there. I think the first thing is I love the image of you laying on your stomach with your feet in the air on your bed, writing in your diary about how good your Warzone victory was. That makes me so happy to imagine.
Yup.
And secondly, yeah, we were playing with Shitty Nick, as we talked about before, and Shitty Nick dropped out because he had to go, but
oh, that's right.
it turned to trios. We were obviously playing in the trios Rebirth Resurgence into a duos. He left early on too. It wasn't like he brought us to the finish line at all. He left really early on, so it was just us.
Yeah, but let me stop you there because I want to paint a picture for the listener. So our buddy gets a work call. He says, I gotta hop off, bros. So instead of just, disconnecting or leaving his controller, he valiantly joins up with us, drops all of his plates, weapons, and ammo. And then before he runs off into the oblivion to kill himself, I literally did him the fucking salute emote, and it was like one of the most legendary little transactions in the game. I go watch him run off into the ether, he dies, and then we continue on as a duo. So go ahead.
And we get the victory. It was a special moment, and winning, that's some like next level streamer gaming shit, baby. Like, we're winning higher class, higher level trios as a duo. That's what I'm fucking talking about. And yeah, as you've mentioned and I mentioned, your car play, out of control, downing people left and right. What has changed for you? Where are you getting this from?
I think it's really become a situation of less is more. Like, I can't be fucking beaming the crosshairs around trying to follow people. I need to anticipate, like we talked about. And as I said last week, I've been letting off the right stick. Once I line it up with the head, it's more about strafing left and right, trying to line those up. But I'm still working towards the better crosshair. I feel like once I get that, I could even maybe go up another level. But yeah, this was, I would say, objectively, easily our best performance, like, together, because we were fucking on comms, we're on point, we were working houses. There were times where, like, you were getting pushed and then I'd come and save your ass, and then there was a time really late in the game where I fucking hit a guy and then his teammate downed me and I thought, I'm done, and then all of a sudden you fucking came, like, heroically into the picture, killed him. It's like a little tear trickled down my heart, or my cheek, I should say, from my heart.
Down your heart. Yeah, they couldn't handle the Cowboys' power, baby, but that was a great game. Really impressed with your car play. My car play has gone completely down the drain, but interestingly enough, talking about cars, and we may have to put that clip on YouTube, by the way. It was just so beautiful. Maybe we'll do it.
Oh yeah.
So typically what I've been doing is I'll go the far in the car loadout. But I love that Strela so much. But the problem with the Strela is that obviously the ammunition count is so low. Like, I have no problem. If I have 6 in the hole and 1 in the chamber, I can go through, if I'm in a battle, I'll rip through 5 or 6 of those rockets after having a couple of horrible, moments where I'm out of rockets and I'm just left with nothing. What I'll do is, if somebody has a munitions box and I can load up on those rockets early in the game, I will go with the Strela loadout. And then what I'll do later in the game, if I have that munitions box, everything works out, I'll blow through those 7 rockets, over the course of a couple minutes in a game. When the next loadout comes, I'm grabbing my car and I'm ending it with a car far setup. I'm ready to snipe, at that the last circle situation, and then I got my far. So that's what I've been doing, kind of strategically choosing my loadouts, which has actually been helping my gameplay quite a bit.
But so you're saying then if there's no muni box present when the loadout drops, then you're going with the car, but don't you feel just similarly limited with there's only 5, I think, or 6 rounds that come in the stock car?
Yeah, but you'll typically find in the beginning of a game or other people, if they're not sniping, it's easier to acquire more car ammunition than the Strela ammunition. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, interesting. Might want to consider, though, in terms of, pivoting late game when you're picking up, instead of going for a car, maybe go for something else, something closer range, because I feel like late game, there's not many options to snipe unless you're really bunkered up, in the circle. Usually for us, that late circle is just a fucking running match, run and hide, get in the building, get your ass kicked. So
yeah, but on the flip side of that, when you're at the end and you're kind of maybe moving into the final circle or the second to final circle, and you're on the move with your team, a lot of times we find ourselves crossing terrain as we're going. And if you're running, if you don't have the proper long range weapon, I find myself on those final pushes into the final position, switching to the car, looking distance. It's like my long range, I'm checking shit out. I'm looking with them. Then maybe I'm popping off a couple shots if I see somebody else down the riverbed running parallel with me. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I'm for it. I think if that works for you, go for it. As we also talked about last week, solicit those rockets from your buddies. But as you've said, they're not that plentiful, out in the wilderness. But all of this talking about weapons, we might have some big changes on the horizon, because just before recording this, I saw that Treyarch, who I guess does all the base weapons tuning, and then Raven kind of plays with it from there or whatever the fuck. Not sure again about the hierarchy, the corporate organizational design here within Activision, but they tweeted out that weapon tuning is going to be happening at Season 2's midpoint, which I guess the streamers are predicting that's going to be next week, roughly around March 25th. So we could see, I'm guessing the AUG's probably going to be touched. The FFAR is the natural one. But then it brings into question, are they going to go back and touch Modern Warfare guns? Because I feel like since Cold War integration has begun, they haven't touched the Modern Warfare guns, which is interesting.
It is interesting. And do you think the Modern Warfare guns are underperforming compared to the Cold War guns?
I think other than the FFAR, they're actually, I would say, perhaps overperforming, just because I think the attachments, you kind of know how to build the best gun on the Modern Warfare guns, whereas the Black Ops guns, it's still it's like through the looking glass, man. We're looking for the Mad Hatter and the Cheshire Cat smoking his pipe to tell us which way to take. We talked about last week, the 6 magazine slot is completely inconsistent from gun to gun. People are literally desperately just trying to make sense of the fucking game. We're 2 seasons in at this point. So I think that's what the Modern Warfare guns have going for them. I think the AMAX still top tier. Obviously, Kar 98 is in the meta. Hardcore, HDR is right there with it. So really, that's just the FFAR, and I think MAC 10, and then obviously the AUG right now. Those are the main guys. So if the AUG gets kind of messed with, the FFAR, I mean, I don't know where the Cold War guns start to go.
And there's the AUG, the meta AUG right now is the Black Ops AUG, right?
Yeah, that's the Black Ops AUG, correct.
So they introduced 2 AUGs? That seems bizarre to me.
I think the Modern Warfare one is fully auto. I always remembered the AUG being a fully auto. Back in the standalone Call of Duty games, I used to rock the AUG from time to time because that fucking thing could spray bullets. You'd throw on an extended mag and the sleight of hand perk, and I would call that my bullet hose loadout, and I would literally aim at a doorway and just spray.
Your bullet hose loadout. I love that. I hope you name it that.
Yeah, bullet hose, baby. Those were my roots. Still waiting to get back there, but Warzone just isn't configured that way quite yet.
So what are you thinking? Are you thinking that there's going to be new metas when they do this midway season 2 correction?
There always are, because anytime they nerf, they'll typically also buff something else, something that's been underperforming, something that's been completely ignored. A lot of times they take that too far. So we'll see what they're doing. And it's going to be that new exploratory period where people are checking it out, and the ones that find it first really have the fucking edge in the war zone. But yeah, like you said, the AUG, insane. I watched, there was a tournament this week, so I was seeing some of the quote unquote pros using it. And it's essentially, it's I would say perhaps more dominant than the DMR was, because it's a 2-shot, although it's a 3-round burst, it's like a 2-shot down in most instances. And that doesn't even have to be a fucking headshot.
Oh, I watched you this last week get killed so quickly with the AUG.
Deleted.
Just so fast. And it was a close range headshot, and it was just a 3. It was just a ba-ba-ba-ba, done.
Yep. So I don't know how they're going to do that. It's always an adventure. I'm eager for it. I welcome too. If they want to go fuck with the Modern Warfare guns, let's fuck with it, baby.
Really? Because I feel like you're such a man of balance, and things do seem to be, I guess the AUG is a little overpowered right now. I mean, the FAR is not, I mean, the FAR is amazing. It's not, I wouldn't say overpowered.
I would. I think it is.
Do you? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the best ground loot in the game. There's no question about that.
It's just in head-to-head combat, nothing fucking beats it. But we'll see how that goes. Still undetermined, but keep an eye out, because, you know, things are going to be changing. That said, the zombie update of the week, looks like they're now moving on. We started at Shipwrecked, migrated over to Prison, and then it's looking like now next ending up at Hospital. I saw like the content creators were sent these Warzone branded scrubs.
That is ridiculous. The scrubs. They're sending content creators hospital scrubs to advertise that the zombies are moving to hospital. That's something right there.
It's certainly something. So I haven't seen them there yet. Again, I literally haven't encountered them since that Shipwreck opening. It seems like nobody drops Shipwreck now. It's just a relic on the map that's just kind of hanging out there. People still going fairly regularly to Prison, but yeah, it seems like Warzone as it is. And then in conjunction with that, I just saw on the Reddit subreddit, COD Warzone. Check that out. We post there every now and again, so throw us an upvote if you see some shit, dope memes. That there was leaked audio files. I don't know how they got them. Fucking Morpheus is out there doing work, but the leaked audio files essentially confirmed the theory that we have been circulating for weeks now, that it's going to be overrun with zombies and there's going to be a fucking nuclear event. Like it's the guy, you know, the guy who talks to you during the game that's like, get your shit right, mate. Like, he's like, oh, Verdansk is overrun, Verdansk is lost, a nuke's being called in and shit. Like, those are some of the audio files. So clearly, I'm curious how they're going to integrate it. Like, if it'll be some sort of limited game mode where, like, the nuke goes off during an actual match. But that's where we're going, dude. So get ready.
Yeah, I listened to that as well, and it was interesting because it's this whole, you know, it's like 30 seconds, and it's like these condensed clips because it's like an audio glitch, obviously. So it's explaining like, oh, the zombies are on Verdansk. Oh my God, get to shelter. Oh, and then it like through the progression of this guy, whatever, his voiceover, it's like, oh, we gotta nuke the map. Everyone's gonna die. Don't get infected before we nuke it. Yeah, it's clear that they're planning on nuking Verdansk. And for the record, I believe on our Twitter account, I called that. It had to be late February. You know, like 3 weeks ago, I had this, and I don't know if I was the first one to have it, but in my mind, I was the first one to have it. So go back on our Twitter. We will definitely repost that when it happens to claim credit for that, because you heard it here first. The date that I put on the tweet of when it was going to happen might be a little off, but nonetheless, definitely nailed it.
Well, I'll just step right in there. You certainly weren't the first to share that theory. That's kind of the thing, is it's just so fucking predictable. Everyone's been talking about this shit. Like, I mean, if we're talking about it, then obviously everyone's talking about it. Everyone sees this coming from a mile away, which, I mean, I think kind of diminishes it. Like, if they had left those silos, like, didn't tease a nuke at all, because they've been teasing nukes for fucking seasons now. And so, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Do you think that was purposeful, or do you think that was a happy accident?
Yeah, I think they've been planning this shit from day one. I don't know if they like kept pushing back the deadline. I'm ready to get there. That said, I'm thinking about like when they actually do launch the new map and I'm able to drop into that. That is going to be a watershed moment in Warzone. Like I can't fucking wait for that.
The new map, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be. I mean, okay. But before we go to discussing the new map, I don't even know if we can discuss because I don't know shit about it. But if you think about the audio files, it's very clear in the audio tapes of like this happening, the leak, that the zombies have overran Verdansk, and that's why it's being nuked. Right? That's kind of like. That's the way the story is unfolding, especially in the audio files. Am I right with that assessment?
That's how it appeared in the audio files. Yes.
So that leads me to speculate, which I actually do think would be really fun, is the zombies actually overtake all of Verdansk. Like, instead of it being these isolated outbreaks like Shipwreck, Prison, and potentially Hospital, it's going to spread to the entirety of Verdansk, which I'm very curious to see how they do it, how that affects gameplay, the reaction from the gaming community to that. It's going to change everything for... I don't know when it's going to happen or how long they're going to allow that to happen. And then my question is, is it going to happen during gameplay? Because those audio files seem to be something that were happening while you were in Warzone, like you were actually playing.
Yes.
So is it that it'll be just a moment for every single player while they're playing, like, oh shit, this is the moment. They're going to actually do it. This is my last time playing Warzone. Is it going to be like that? Or are they just going to shut it down? Are they going to play a video clip and that's the audio from the video clip?
Well, I don't know if you guys can hear that rusty machinery, but the wheels in my brain are turning as you're talking about this. Because I'm thinking one thing that stuck out, word that was used in the audio files that leaked was he said exfiltration. And we already saw they introduced temporarily that exfiltration game mode. So maybe, in the final week in Verdansk, they're going to, kind of like they did with zombies and these other things, those are like special events in Warzone. Maybe there's going to be like the end of Verdansk event where you are going in, like you said, in this one, the zombies are now wet and wild, like we talked about last week, would be cool as shit.
Wet and wild, baby.
And then you have to like exfil, and then if you don't, then everyone on the map gets fucking nuked and it ties into the storyline. Okay, that's version 1 that could happen. And that would involve an actual gameplay mode. That would be the ideal in my mind.
That would be amazing. I do not think that they have the stones to pull that off.
Oh, so the gauntlet's being thrown down. Well, the lesser version of that, less cool, I would say, is I don't even know if you were in Warzone at this point that heavily. I don't even know if we were doing this podcast. I don't think so. But back when before they first opened Stadium, and it was actually going to be the first reveal that it was Cold War Black Ops is the new game.
Of course I was there. Are you kidding me? I've been playing for like a year now.
Okay, well, did you do that in-season event where, like, you literally just parachute in and it tells you to get to Stadium and then everyone just runs to Stadium and then they jumped to a cutscene? And it was, like, literally the preview of the new Cold War. It was kind of weird. Like, it wasn't a game because you just kind of ran around and then you were trying to do these little missions, find these secret boxes, and then you could fucking unlock a blueprint. Like, so they gave people a reward. But it was really weird, and it was only like happened a few times in the daytime. You had to be on at a certain time of day to even do it. Did you fucking do that?
I didn't do that. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. So anyways, that could be the other thing they do is like they just drop everyone in, let you fuck around for a few minutes, and then nuke the map. And it's like, okay, wave bye-bye to Verdansk. But it's on the horizon here. Season 2 ends in April. So I think we can definitively say like these next few weeks coming on now are the last of Verdansk. So, get those postcards written, say goodbye to your favorite monuments. For me, definitely going to be, Promenade.
You love Promenade. Your Cadillac margaritas as you drop for Scavies and Promenade. I'm going to miss Prison. I've started growing attached to Quarry. I do like a good Quarry drop. Great loot over there. But yeah, it's going to be sad. I mean, maybe we should do something special on the podcast to say Bon Voyage to Verdansk. I don't know what that looks like or sounds like, but maybe we do something special.
Do you know how to play the trumpet?
No. I could make a really terrible joke about that, but no, I don't know how to play the trumpet or trombone, no.
All right. Well, I was gonna say we could like play taps live on the air here, as we salute the end of Verdansk. But that opens up an interesting topic. What are your favorite areas of Verdansk, and on the flip side, your most hated areas?
That's actually an interesting point. I love prison. I love dropping prison. It was one of the first places that I got comfortable dropping. So I have a very fondness in my heart for prison. Great loot. There's a buy typically there. The only problem with prison sometimes is if the circle is too far away from prison, like that first circle, you can get caught in the gas and die there so quickly, especially if you do a long drop there and there's another team that gets the helicopter. You can fuck yourself real fast in prison. But I love a nice spicy hot prison drop right off the bat. That's always fun. A quarry also is another place. Great loot. Love quarry. I mean, I am such an idiot. Like, we co-hosted Warzone podcast. I just realized this last week that the missile silos were open. And there's some great loot in those silos. I guess they've been open for a while. I never really dropped there. So I do like that area. Promenade's fun. It's okay. I really don't see the appeal of it. I love dropping train station. Train station's always a good time. I never was a big Superstore guy at all. One, because we're terrible. And typically the level of gameplay when you drop hot into Superstore, you got to know what you're doing. You have to know the buttons. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, you got to be quick on the old trigger.
You got to be quick, and that's where the sweat lords head. So we don't typically go there. Over the last couple of weeks, though, have played with some people that take a mentality to Superstore that I do like is like, and this makes sense for us amateurs, is like if you drop on the fringes of the map, right, and you spend, like 10 minutes getting all of your shit, getting the loot, then getting all ready to go. You don't see another soul, but you're just like kind of getting ready and prep for the fight, but you suck at the game like us. When you spend that much time and you invest it, and then the first person you see kills you, that was just a gigantic waste of time, So I can understand why dropping Superstore somewhere hot with a bunch of loot is great, because it's like your fate instantly. You're either getting the shit, getting your loadout, getting ready to go, or you die and you just restart the game. You don't waste fucking 10 minutes trying to get all your shit together and dying at the first person with a Diamatti you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand the theory, and I'm drawn to that too in theory. Just drop hot. Either you get the kills or you get killed and you start again. But the thing is, with our team, we got some fucking scrappy fighters, dude. And a lot of times it'll have like one guy make it out, and then we all die in the gulag, so we're sitting there watch this guy fucking run around trying to get loot and shit. So there is a drawback for me. Yeah, Superstore, I'm becoming less afraid of it. It's like, in Home Alone when he goes into the basement and like the fucking furnace scares the shit out of him. Like, that was Superstore for me pretty early on. Then it got a little braver recently, and then as of late, it's like people are like, yeah, you want to drop Superstore? And I'm like, okay, let's try it, because, I think we're typically in shittier lobbies when it's us, so don't have, Dr. Disrespect and Z Laner dropping in alongside us most times, but I stay away from that. It's just too many areas to get fucked from. I think my number one hated area, though, on the entire map is farmland.
Really?
There's just something about all those buildings that are like very few two-story, all within sight of each other. It's a camper's paradise. Like, if you move through farmland and someone is waiting, you are pretty fucking helpless in most instances.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I've had some just horribly horrific like end of circles in, like, as you say, campers are there in farmland. And if you move into farmland late in the game, it's over.
Yep.
Like, it's over. Like, someone is going to be looking out of a window. You are going to die so fast.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate airport because it's just completely wide open. You got to make runs through the abyss there, like running across that runway.
Yeah. Oh, man, the runway. I've been mauled down and split in half so many times on the runway trying to get to the buy or trying to get a loadout. Maybe the scariest place to get a loadout is on the airstrip if it lands right in the middle of the airstrip.
Yes, 100%. It's like, I've fucking never been more exposed in my life,
Yeah.
So those are really the lowlights for me personally. In terms of highlights, my first love, I think, was Hospital. Again, it goes back to my play style at the beginning of fucking Call of Duty. You call it a camper or whatever, but I like to quote unquote hold a building, take a fucking position of fucking power, and an area that's sought after, and just be like, nah, dude, I'm gonna plant my fucking flag here. So Hospital was fantastic for that, especially early in the game. They didn't have the zip lines, so the only way up was through that elevator. It was like, dude, you took that shit and that was your fortress. So love Hospital, gonna miss that. And then yeah, Promenade. And I think this is gonna kind of take us into our next topic. But I think the reason I really like Promenade is I've been there so much now. I know my way around. And for those that know me, both as a human and as a video game counterpart, like I'm not ashamed to admit it. I have a fucking horrible sense of direction.
You do.
Like we go to dinner, and then we leave the restaurant and like we're going back to the car and people are turning right and I'm just like turning left and like, where the fuck are you going? I'm like, oh, sorry. Same shit applies in Warzone, dude. It's like people are like, oh, come up here, go in this building. Don't you remember how to get up top of this building? I'm like, I don't fucking remember this shit. So I don't know, man. Like, is there any advice out there?
No, I think you're born with that.
Oh,
I don't know how you teach somebody's sense of direction. And as I have an excellent sense of direction, probably the best sense of direction of anybody that you know.
wow.
And unfortunately, I was born with it from a very young age. I was very perceptive to, where the North Star was, where, Mexico was. Like, I knew my way around.
Oh, knew where Mexico was. Wow.
Well, it's south, baby. It's south of me. So
Yeah.
I just knew, I had the north, I had the south. I knew where the ocean was at all times. So it was like I always had that,
So you don't think it was like due to your seafaring ways? You talked about you're on boats a lot and fishing. It's not fucking harnessed through that. It was just innately given to you.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. There's definitely like on the ocean, there's, indicators of where you're like what, but when you're out in the ocean, you can't see any land or islands or anything. You're by yourself out there. You don't have like landmarks necessarily to know exactly where you are, but no. So I think I was born with it. I think, it's something that you're either born with or you learn at a very young age. At your age now, I would focus my energy on learning other things, not that.
Okay, because yeah, it certainly challenges me in the war zone, and yeah, I'm just looking for fucking help. I like when people are watching my screen; they give me little guidelines. Turn left, turn right. I'll do that, dude. I'll follow your directions, bro. Set the ping. I'll go fucking right there.
Yeah, you can follow pings. Is that why you love pings and live pings? You love them.
Oh, I think that question's answered for itself, man. Like, whenever I hear firing on a team, I'm like, just fucking ping it, because I can't find it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we can get into like some kind of like testing lobby and I can try, some things, but I don't know. I'd have to Google like some psychological things on how to help you. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you right now.
But that's part of the reason why I'm so excited for this new map, because, it's going to level the playing field a little bit, bring people kind of back down to my level where like we're both running around not really knowing what the fuck's going on.
You know what's really exciting? And we don't have to dwell on the new map too much because I'm sure when the time comes and there's an announcement that it's actually happening.
Oh, yeah.
I am getting very, very excited about the new map because there's all these things that I haven't thought about. Like, are there going to be new vehicles? You talk about zip lines. Like, that was a huge addition to Verdansk. Like, what new things are they going to add to the map that's going to change the spice of the game up? Like, what kind of salt and pepper are they going to give us? What's new? Are they going to change like certain fundamentals, like how you get around? Like, there's a train on this map. You got obviously cars, you got helicopters. Like what else can they introduce? Where is it going to be? Is it in Russia?
And then on Rebirth, they have the gondola. So like maybe we could see that fucking type of thing coming in, which is cool. I like the gondola.
Interesting. Yeah, I forget about the gondola. They definitely have the little gondola, which is bizarre. There's a gondola up to the top of a prison, but I guess that's
a good point. But we'll just move past that. But that's an excellent question. If they're going to introduce, I mean, we're still waiting for the gunner helicopter to come back. Like we waved goodbye to that.
Was that a 48-hour edition?
I think it was months ago. Promised it would return, I thought, but still waiting in the shadows. Maybe they're waiting to unleash it again here. I know I mentioned, when the Cold War integration first hit, I was like, oh, maybe we'll be able to swim, or when the ship was coming. But I kind of thought about that. That's a stupid fucking comment. I'll admit it, because the issue is we're currently running on a Modern Warfare game engine. So that's why like you can mount your guns and it just feels like Modern Warfare. Whereas when you go hop in Black Ops, play the multiplayer, it's a different experience. You can't mount, you can't do certain things. So I think from what I've read, they've said Modern Warfare engine will continue to be the base for Warzone, so I don't think any sort of swimming mechanic is coming in. But it's an interesting thought that they could introduce, like, what if they have a fucking snowmobile? Because I've heard rumors we might be like some sort of mountainous thing for the new map, you know?
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, maybe it's gondolas and snowmobiles and
Yeah, it's like the opening scene of fucking True Lies when he's like snowmobiling and the guys are on skis and shit. Probably not like that, but you know, I like to tie it into the movie references.
yeah, I was thinking more of like Inception in the final dream when they're coming down, you know, and pushing that little tiny like bunker on the hill and they're like skiing and throwing strings at each other and shit and wrapping people's legs up.
That could be cool.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I love the idea of a like a winter wonderland. That would be cool. That would be cool. I could see them totally going out with operator skins that are all white and like rabbit colored shit.
I was just gonna say, you know, that's the way to combat the rose skin phenomenon is put some fucking white on the map, dude.
Yeah. Well, then what? They'll create like a Yeti skin that literally is white from head to toe, and then it'll be impossible to see them too.
True.
But you'd see the black guns. You know, that would be cool.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, but that's the main problem I think with what we're going on here is people have found so many ways to exploit Verdansk to, you know, they know it too well. So yeah, let's clear the fucking pieces off the table. Flip the fucking table over. Let's get a new chessboard on here. But speaking of, you know, blending in, deception, one thing I've been meaning to talk about this is, you know, they have the little spray paint option at your disposal.
Yes, I love spraying people bright red when I'm waiting in the gulag. I'm such a troll. I go around spraying them different spray paint colors so when they get in the gulag, and it sticks back into the game.
I've heard, yeah, it sticks till you get killed even, I've heard. I don't know if that's confirmed, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've seen it, baby. I've seen it, and I've gotten sprayed before, and I've been told that I've been sprayed in Verdansk, so it does happen.
So yeah, the graffiti ones are obviously, you know, we play around with the gulag, but there's also these ones that like are 3D imaged, I mean, not 3D, 2D images that look like they're 3D of players. And I've seen clips online of really fucking smart players spraying them to like, it'll just cause your enemy a moment to literally, they run up into the roof of a building, they turn the corner, and then they see like 5 of those things sprayed on the fucking wall. And then the real guy's off to the side, and it's like your brain's kind of like, whoa. Have you done any of that?
Of course not. No, I'm a total amateur. I don't have the wit and wherewithal and skill and brain power to do something like that. I'd like to think, you know, there are moments where I have my moments, and maybe, do you have to equip that spray, or is it, how do you get the spray? I don't even think I have the spray.
I unlocked it either in a battle pass or by doing some sort of thing. I think it was a battle pass. I have several that look, one of them in particular looks incredibly like realistic. But yes, you have to go to your, I think it's your barracks setting in the main menus, and you can customize your, there's like 6 or 7 or even 8, I think, slots for your different sprays and your emotes. Like I said, when I saluted Lord of Edgetown, I had that salute emote equipped. So you got to go in there, choose which ones you want, you assign them to a different thumbstick direction. So I have mine on there. I've started using it in this new gulag. If I start on one of the one end where there's like a plywood board right behind you, I saw someone do this on the Reddit, and basically I have the spray equipped as the countdown's going to start the gulag, and then as soon as it starts, I'm already turned around. I just spray that wall, and then sometimes I'll even just lay down in front of it and be like a little bitch. Other times I'll just kind of leave it there to hopefully distract, but I need to fucking start using it more because it's cool as shit.
You're so passionate. I love it. You should start using it more, and you should use it. I mean, I could see, like you explained, like if you knew somebody was creeping up on you, right? And you were in like a room where there, you know, the door opened. If you could spray a different corner that you're not hiding in, and they come in and that's the first thing they see, and they start firing at it, those first few seconds are all the difference in the world.
Exactly. Even if they just hesitate.
Yeah, and they would be so fucking confused, or they would think like, oh, what the fuck? Like, oh, there's a second person in here. And then they would go back and watch the kill cam and be flabbergasted by your genius.
Yes. So I saw one instance where a guy literally did like 12 of them, and it was amazing, dude. He completely dismantled this enemy. So my request to you is, Cowboy, next time we're playing together, because there's so many situations, especially like we've said, we play like fucking cowards. where we're in a building and it's like, oh, they're below us, they're pushing in, just like be to me, just be like, spray Tron, spray, and like.
I will remind you, also what's interesting too, this is starting to get the rusty gears in my mind turning as well.
Yeah.
Is that, when we play Rebirth or Resurgence, we typically will hold, while it's fucking chaotic and crazy outside, you're getting your loot, you're doing your thing. What a really cool application of that spray could be is that if there's like a critical staircase in where you're hanging out and we typically get killed from behind, like someone creeps in the house with dead silence or something, and then they just slaughter us before we know it. If you sprayed that, say at the top of the stairs or somewhere that it would alert you if you're not paying attention to somebody coming inside. Say you're sniping out a window, and then all of a sudden you hear shots behind you because somebody that entered the house without you knowing saw your spray paint, fired, thought it was, and then all of a sudden you're aware there's someone in the house. That could save you from getting mauled from behind. You know what I mean?
Wow, it's like a little fucking alert dog for you.
It's like an alert system. Yeah, like you'll see. Yeah, dude, we should use that. That's genius.
See, yeah, and now that you're talking about Rebirth, I mean, we always land at headquarters. That's our superstore essentially for.
It's our thing, yeah.
And the top of those two staircases are fucking perfect for spraying because it's just straight up to a flat wall.
Yeah.
So as soon as they look up there, they're gonna see this stupid ass 2D person. Oh man, I'm excited, dude. We can't forget this because I know we will.
Yeah, we'll definitely forget it, but maybe we won't.
Yeah, that's right, baby. I'm playing with more fear, but of course, once they get a new map, new weapons tuned, I'm going to go right back to being the scared little boy that I am.
Yeah.
But that's why we do this cast, is so I can teach myself, learn a little bit, and play. So yeah, our regiment's really filling out. Final thought from me is if you've joined our regiment and you haven't already done so, you can go ahead and display that WAH clan tag proudly beside your username. If you haven't already, all you got to do is go to your barracks tab and then find the option for clan and regiment. And then I believe if you're on like a PlayStation, it's the square button. In Xbox, it's the X button. But you either push the button that'll tell you to use regiment clan tag. So that way, we can all be here together. As I've said, we're getting a lot of requests to play. We feel bad when we're unable to accept, but we are trying to get the games in when we can. But if we're not online, the fucking regiment is for you guys to fucking link up together. I've seen a few people messaging that they've been doing just that, which is like so fucking rad. That's what it's all about. Get this community interconnected. But some more exciting stuff for us down the line. That's going to do it though for us this week for the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast. Thanks so much for dropping in with us. If you haven't already, subscribe or follow us wherever you get your podcast. Check out our YouTube page. We've gotten some great submissions for fails. Keep those coming. We're going to be sending out our breakdown shortly. And until then,
good luck in the gulag.
Good luck in that gulag. Try the spray. See how it works.
Spray it out, baby. Later.